It's sleek, spacious, and one of the most capable super-midsize jets on the market. This is the Gulfstream G280, a private jet that delivers long-range performance, high-end comfort, and smart operating costs. Today, we're covering everything you need to know, from price and range to cabin features and what makes it stand out in 2025. Cabin. Let's start where you'll be spending most of your time. The cabin. The G280's interior is 25 feet 6 inches of carefully designed space that doesn't waste a single inch. At 6 feet 3 inches tall and 7 feet 2 inches wide, this isn't some cramped tube where you're bumping elbows with your business partner. You can actually stand up, walk around, and move freely without that constant reminder that you're in an aircraft. What makes the G280 stand out is how Gulfstream approached the cabin layout. You get 10 passenger seats in the standard configuration, but here's where it gets interesting. This jet offers up to 3 distinct living areas. Think about that for a moment. You can have a forward lounge area for meetings, a central dining or conference space, and an aft cabin that functions as a private office or relaxation zone. It's not just a jet, it's a flying office that actually works the way you work. The seats themselves are worth talking about. These aren't your standard aviation chairs. We're looking at fully berthing seats that convert into flatbeds. When you're crossing time zones and need to arrive fresh for that critical meeting, that matters. The seats swivel, track, and recline, giving you the flexibility to configure your workspace or rest space exactly how you need it. But let's talk about what really separates the G280 from its competitors. Those windows. 19 windows line the cabin, and they're not the tiny portholes you might expect. These are large oval windows that flood the interior with natural light and give you actual views. At altitude, when you're above the weather and the world below looks like a map come to life, those windows transform the entire flying experience. The cabin altitude is another game changer. At a typical cruise altitude of 45,000 feet, the G280 maintains a cabin altitude of just 6,900 feet. Your body doesn't feel like it's been squeezed into a pressurized can. You arrive less fatigued, more alert, and ready to perform. That's not marketing speak. That's basic physiology, and Gulfstream engineered it right into the aircraft. Cockpit. Now let's move up front to the cockpit, because what's happening behind that door directly impacts your flight experience. The G280 features the plain view 280 glass cockpit, which is Gulfstream's integration of Rockwell Collins ProLine Fusion avionics. For those of you who aren't pilots, here's what that actually means. This is one of the most advanced flight decks in business aviation. 4 large high-resolution displays give the pilots an unprecedented amount of information without overwhelming them. The system integrates navigation, weather, terrain, traffic, and aircraft systems into a clean, intuitive interface. This isn't just about making the pilots' jobs easier, though it absolutely does that. It's about safety and efficiency. The G280 includes synthetic vision technology, which creates a 3-dimensional view of terrain and obstacles, even when visibility is near zero. Enhanced vision systems use infrared sensors to see through darkness, haze, and weather that would ground lesser aircraft. Combined with enhanced flight vision systems, the G280 can operate in conditions that would keep other jets on the ground. Head-up display technology projects critical flight information onto a transparent screen at the pilot's eye level, meaning they never have to look down at instruments during critical phases of flight, like approach and landing. Every system in this cockpit is redundant, backed up, and designed to fail safely. That's the Gulfstream philosophy, and it's why their jets have such exceptional safety records. By the way, we now have a full Spanish version of this channel. Same jets, same luxury, now in Spanish. If you speak Spanish or know someone who does, this is for you. Check the pinned comment to subscribe. Stick around until the end to see some surprising facts about how the G280 compares to jets that cost twice as much, including one capability that even some heavy jets don't have. Engine and performance. Under those engine cowlings sit 2 Honeywell HTF 7200G engines, each producing 7,624 pounds of thrust. These aren't just powerful, they're remarkably efficient for their class. The G280 burns approximately 259 gallons per hour at typical cruise speeds, which is competitive with jets that offer significantly less range and capability. Let's talk about what those engines actually deliver. The G280 has a maximum range of 3,600 nautical miles. In practical terms, that means you can fly from Los Angeles to London, New York to Moscow, or Singapore to Tokyo without stopping for fuel. You're looking at true intercontinental capability in a super mid-size platform. Maximum cruise speed hits 561 miles per hour, which translates to Mach 0.85. That's fast. Fast enough that you're saving real time on every flight compared to slower competitors. Time is money, and the G280 respects both. But here's where it gets really impressive. The G280 can take off from a runway just 4,750 feet long. That opens up literally hundreds of airports that larger jets simply can't access. You're not locked into major commercial airports with their delays and congestion. You can get closer to your actual destination, saving time on both ends of your flight. The maximum operating altitude of 45,000 feet puts you above most weather and commercial traffic. You're flying in smooth, efficient air, while the airlines are bouncing around at 35,000 feet. The flight experience is noticeably smoother, quieter, and more comfortable. Range with maximum passengers is where the G280 truly shines. Load up all 10 seats, add full luggage, and you still have 2,960 nautical miles of range. That's not a short hop, that's serious capability that doesn't force you to choose between bringing your team and flying direct. The G280 climbs to 45,000 feet in just 19 minutes. You're at optimal altitude quickly, which means you're flying efficiently for more of your journey. Every minute spent climbing is fuel you're burning without covering maximum distance. Price. Let's address what everyone wants to know. What does the G280 actually cost? The new purchase price sits at approximately $26 million. That's the base price, and realistically, most buyers are looking at closer to $28 to $30 million once you factor in customization, avionics upgrades, and the specific interior configuration you want. If purchasing isn't in the cards right now, charter rates for the G280 typically run between $6,000 and $8,000 per flight hour, depending on the route, season, and availability. That puts it in reach for businesses that need occasional private aviation without the full ownership commitment. Those are the numbers. The G280 delivers heavy jet capability in a super mid-size package at a price point that actually makes sense for its performance envelope. The Gulfstream G280 isn't trying to be everything to everyone. It's laser-focused on being the best super mid-size jet you can buy. And by almost every metric that matters, it succeeds. The cabin is genuinely comfortable for transcontinental flights. The range lets you skip fuel stops and get where you're going directly. The technology is current, not outdated systems carried over from older designs. And the Gulfstream name means resale values that protect your investment better than virtually any competitor. This is what happens when a legendary manufacturer applies decades of heavy jet experience to the super mid-size category. The result is an aircraft that doesn't compromise, and neither should you. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the world of ultimate luxury, a like and a subscription would mean the world. And for those who dream of flying in style, click right here to watch our video on why $5 million private jets are worth every penny. See you in the skies.